besties. Hello. Hi everybody. I hope we're all doing excellent. We're gonna be doing some eyeshadow swatching again. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee because I made this coffee. And then I was like, oh, it's quiet. I should film. And I'm like, oh my god, my coffee's hot. So I'm just like slurping it back really quick. It's also my second cup, so I should maybe relax. Anyways, I'm gonna be swatching some of the Makeup Revolution or Revolution Makeup Revolution London. There's like 3 different kind of names that they go by palettes. I think I'm gonna do the donuts for sure, because it won't take very long, and then we're gonna do the Sofx Revolution Extra Spice palette. We're gonna roll up my sleeve, take the hair elastic onto the other arm. We're gonna do this side. Yeah, I haven't overly used many of the Makeup Revolution eyeshadows that I have. I don't know. The formula's okay. It's definitely usable, but I would say that they're not my favorite products I've tried from the brand. But I love the donut palettes to tap on them. I would definitely say that this one's my favorite. So this is actually from Revolution, and then the other ones are just the Revolution, like the Sofx one is. Anyway, so this is called Chocolate Custard. It's a shadow palette, but it also has pressed pigments. I think this one has pressed pigment, or maybe it's the cherry pie one that has pressed pigment. Anyways, I love this. Like, it just sounds so good. Anyway, so when you open it, it's really cute. It has a really big mirror that actually like is pretty decent, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, this is called Chocolate Custard, and it's just these little wheels. There's 4 shimmers and 1 matte. I've used this palette quite a bit, and actually this shade is my favorite, so I'm gonna start with this one and go around and do the matte last. They just say they're just the shades are 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I've been sneezing so much because there's so much smoke in the air from the forest fires, and it's just been a rough time for me, and I feel like I'm like congested. And when I've been listening back to what I filmed, you can hear me breathing louder than normal, and it bothers me, so I do apologize if I'm breathing loud. It's just the air quality. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna start with this one and go around. The first shade is stunning. It's like a champagne-y gold color. I don't know if you'll really be able to see. It's not really showing up on my arm, but you get the gist. It's pretty. I love it. It's absolutely stunning. I'm sorry I can't really go into more depth. It's not really showing up. And then up next we have this beautiful shimmery bronze shade. I've used this one as well. It's much softer than the champagne-y shade. Look at that. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. I love this shade. This is a really good palette for me to just take traveling or like wherever, if I'm just going overnight and I need a look, because slap that on, pick a color, inner corner, you're good to go. And then following that we have another shimmer, because 4 shimmers, 1 matte, and this one's just a dark brown shimmery shade. It's also really pretty and pigmented. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. And then there's more of a copper. I guess this is more bronzy, and this is more like a coppery orange. I apologize if there was just like a really loud background noise. I don't know what's happening. It's really windy out, so that might have something to do with it. Anyway, it's also just stunning. This palette's just really cute. And then the little brown, it's a dark It's not quite as pigmented as the shimmers, but that's okay because it's buildable and I've used it a few times and it does blend very good. So yeah, that's just the little chocolate custard one. And I just love it. I love the sound. Apparently my word for today is just, I'm so annoying. Okay, so we got chocolate custard. Okay, up next we have the iHeart Revolution Cherry Pie. Yeah, so this one has pressed pigment in it. And I love this one. It's got little icing and little sparkles. And they're so squishy. Like, I just love it. So I did do a get ready with me using this palette. You guys probably saw it, so you know what it looks like. Mostly purples with this one red. I find that a little weird. I think I did talk about this, but I do find it weird that it's called cherry pie. Obviously pink, but there's no pink. There's one red and the rest is purple. I just think that maybe like blueberry truthfully would have fit this better. But that's no hate, I understand. I just, yeah, okay. And so four, five, 1, 2, 3. And these are all shimmer. There's not a single matte in this, which is odd. But, you know, no big deal. It's kind of more of like a novelty thing, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna start with the purples and do the red last. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and swatch. They're all shimmery, and I did swatch this a few times already, but yeah. Let's just start with the light first one, which is a light purple. It does have a bit of a pinky reflect. I will say that this shade and that first light champagne-y shade in the chocolate custard one aren't as soft as the darker shades, but yeah, this definitely has a pink shimmer, and I do apologize. I'm a bit dark and tanned right now, but it's pretty. It's just not showing up. Okay, then we're gonna move on to this purple, which is honestly very vibrant. Yeah. It does have like that pinky bluey reflect sort of as well. So there we go. Purples aren't necessarily like my favorite, but it is pretty. It would look really pretty on a dark, like with darker skin tone. Okay. Then we have this one, which is more of a mauve, definitely a cool toned purple. I don't even know if I've ever even swatched this one. Oh, that's actually quite pretty. Very toned down. Oh, that's pretty. That's actually, that's probably something I would actually think about that and reach for that. I never swatched it. It would also look pretty as a blush on someone that would have the darker complexion. Okay, then we're gonna move up to this purple, which is definitely more of the berry dark purple going on, whereas this one is so vibrant. And out there, this is more dark, smoky, seductive, sultry, whatever you want to go with. And I'd say that this dark shade is the smoothest feeling so far. It kind of just looks like that. Oh, it's not as pigmented. I feel like these ones aren't as soft and pigmented as the browns, but purples are a really hard formula to get, so like I am impressed with this, you know. This is very impressive for these kinds of shades. And then this red one I have used, it's really pretty. I love it, and it's, yeah, very soft. It definitely has more of a pinky tone to it. It's not as rich, but yeah. most bam pigmented out of them all. So we got that. Okay, now I'm gonna have to get all these purples and reds off my arm. I also want to apologize for naming my nail polish. It's disgusting and I need to take it off. But I'm truthfully lazy. Okay. Okay, up next. This is going to be bright. Okay, this is the back of the palette. Actually. Okay, so I turned the lights off so I could show you. And it hopefully won't be as bright. But this is the Sofx Revolution Extra Spice palette. It has this rose gold cover, and then the back is like this peachy shade, but the front is metallic. So I'm not really gonna continue to show that just because I don't want to blind you when you're trying to sleep or whatever. So there's also a huge mirror down here. I'll try to cover it up. So we are upside down in my attempts to cover the mirror. I have small hands, so it doesn't really work. But this is the shades in the palette. I've used this palette a few times. You can tell I've dug into this shade. Actually, this is really pretty. I've dug into this shade. I actually really like this shade down here. But yeah, we're gonna go maybe across. So we'll start here and we'll go over. So this first shade is called Everyday and it's a metallic. It's purpley and I think it is one of my favorite shades in the palette. So it's just like that. It's a light purple shimmer and it's very pretty. I feel like you probably can't really tell, but it's really pretty. I like it and it's super soft. Surprisingly, it is one of my favorite shades in the palette that I didn't really think I was gonna gravitate towards, but I definitely have. So up next is this matte orange shade. It's pretty light, and it's a light orange. It's called Running Late, and it's pretty as well. It's just super basic, and it has a lot of pigment. Honestly, I just don't reach for this palette. I don't think about it. I don't know. There's just something about it that I never think to grab to it, but this would just be a super easy shade to pop on the lid, you know what I mean? Okay, I have found this cloth that is disgusting. It's the cloth I rub my makeup brushes on. But I'm just gonna cover the mirror with it. So up next we have this pretty blue silver metallic shade. It's called Infinity. It's very pretty as well. Surprisingly, one of my favorite shades. It's just really nice. So it's definitely chunky. I would say that it's chunky, and it feels slightly gritty, but it's not an issue in there. Like, just look at how stunning. It's definitely like glittery. It's very, very pretty. If you were trying to go for like a robot alien look, literally put that thing all over your face and you would just look so good. It's one of those shades that I never considered, and I was just pleasantly surprised. I guess I never considered it. I didn't really give it a lot of thought, and then one day I just stuck my finger in it and I was like, wow, that is stunning. So yeah, that's Infinity. Then the rest of the palette, or the rest of this row, is pretty neutral. We have another matte here. This is called Cheesecake, and it's definitely like a medium dark, reddy, rich, warm brown. Actually, I think I'm just gonna talk about these and then swatch them all at once so I don't have to keep putting the palette up and down. So after Cheesecake, we have Cookie Dough, which is a light brown. It's also a matte, and I would definitely say that It's not cold, it's just on the cooler warm side. And then the last one in this palette is a shimmer, and it's a gold, definitely more of a brownie gold, and it's called Dreams. I've also used these 3 shades quite a bit. They're obvious. They're you know, neutrals. They're easy to use. So let's swatch Cheesecake. There's quite a bit of pigment in that. I remember liking the shade. Oh yeah, that's pretty, and that's very pigmented. Like, look at that. The matte, actually, the first row of this palette I quite like. I really like it. I think it's the other shades sort of that. Actually, I think it's mostly the middle. The middle. I don't know. Okay, let's swatch Cookie Dough. I've used Cookie Dough quite a bit. It's definitely just your average brown shadow. That's this shade. It's not as pigmented, but I think it's just because it's lighter, you know. But still pretty. And then we have Dreams, which it's not overly chunky, but it's very like light and shimmery. Oh, sorry. It's right there. It's very pretty. It's very shimmery. Honestly pretty, reminiscent of a really pretty highlighter, like a shimmering highlighter formula. So yeah, that's the first. Okay, let's wipe it off. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna talk about like the whole row and then we'll swatch it. So the middle row is mostly matte. There's only the one shimmer. So starting over here, we have a pale matte yellow, which is vitamin C. I had a lot of hope for this. I was thinking that this was gonna be stunning, but I didn't love it when I did use it. It's very pale. I'd say it's more pale on the brush than it is in the pan, but all good. It's good for like matte inner corner, etc., etc. Next to it, we have another orange that's definitely darker than Running Late. Very pretty, kind of reminiscent of Real Gar from the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia, but not quite as dark, and it's called Sweet and Sour. Next to Sweet and Sour, we have a shade, it's called 21. It's a pink matte. It does have a teeny bit of shimmer in it, but it's definitely like a matte. I wouldn't even really call it a satin. I'm not even sure if the shimmer didn't just come off of another shadow. I've never swatched it. Pink shadows aren't really my thing. I don't like really enjoy pink on my eyes. I don't know, unless it's a light pink, but this kind of a pink, it's not my jam. So next to 21, we have this shade called Romance, and it's a shimmer. It's like a maroon mulled wine kind of deal. I did do a look with this and put it kind of all over the lid. From what I remember, it was pretty, but I think I was like slightly disappointed for some reason. I don't remember, so we'll have to swatch that one and go back. Next to Romance, we have a shadow called Enchanted. It's like a purpley matte color, but it's definitely cooler and leaning more towards the browny black color. It looks like I swatched it, but I don't think I put it on the eyes. And next to Enchanted, we have Lakes, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette. Surprisingly, you probably would have never guessed, but it's a matte green, but it's like a kind of a brownie green. Sorry, I don't know what I was trying to say. It's like a brownie green. It's so pretty on the eyes, honestly. So let's swatch. Okay, vitamin C is up first. So that's this shade on my finger. I don't know, it's just a really underwhelming. It's underwhelming. I don't know. It's not a good shade, to be honest, but that's okay. I had high hopes, but I have other yellow shadows that I really like. I really like the yellow shadow from NYX in the Ultimate Brights palette. It's really pretty. Anyways, let's go with Sweet and Sour next. See, this 1,000,000 times better of a swatch. Yeah, this shade's stunning. The oranges and the browns in this palette, they go off, they go hard. So they're sweet and sour. Up next we have 21, which I've literally never touched. It definitely does have some shimmer. It's just like a pinky red. I guess it's a little darker than I anticipated, but I have so many shades that are similar that I like better. But I have no qualms or quarrels. It was a nice swatch. And then we have Romance, which is, yeah, no, this was stunning. It is stunning. Yep, it's so smooth, so pretty. Yep, Romance. Having a little romance in the romance. Okay, next to Romance we have Enchanted, which is that purpley shade again. Yeah, this shade reminds me, gives me Urban Decay Naked Heat vibes, but yeah, definitely purple. It looks a little more browny in the pan, but it's more of a plum shade for sure, but very pigmented. I will say that Makeup Revolution, Revolution, you know what I mean? They actually do purples really nicely. I'm impressed. And then after Enchanted we have Lakes, which I really like this shade. Look at that. I don't know why that this dark browny khaki green does this to me, but it does. I think it's just, it gives you that smoky vibe, that smoky, like swampy vibe without using a brown. I don't know why, but like it's my favorite shade in this palette. Like it's stunning. It's so pretty. Anyway, that's the middle row. Yeah, you can kind of see why the yellow is just like, okay. Okay, and we're on to the last row, which is definitely a different, darker vibe. So the first shade, well, actually, it's mostly matte, but we have two shimmers. The first shade is called Brownies, and it's a dark, dark brown, matte, dark brown. Sort of, I guess. What I was thinking more Enchanted would have been, I think, is what Brownies actually looks like. I haven't used it. I would definitely say that this palette is very dark, so it's not overly beginner friendly, but if it was a collaboration with Sofx, I actually don't know who that is. I know she's a YouTuber. Then this is probably like more of the makeup she does anyway, but yeah. So we have Brownies, and then next to Brownies is my favorite shade name for a brown eyeshadow. It's called Chocolate Orange, and Terry's Chocolate Oranges at Christmas time. So bloody good. Anyway, it's so cute. So it's just a chocolatey brown. I would say that it's a less red version of Cheesecake down here. And I do remember using it, and it was very pretty. Next to Chocolate Orange, we have another matte, and this is called Mulled Wine. I have swatched it. I think I used Mulled Wine in Romance to make a look like just a fun little smoky eye. And it's more of a reddy wine color, obviously. And next to Mulled Wine is a shimmery gold. It's definitely a yellow gold, where this one's more browny, richer. This is like, hi, I am gold, I am yellow. And it's called LA Sun. I'm reading it upside down, and at first I was like, La Sun, like what? And then I realized my necklace was choking me and you guys didn't tell me. Anyway, and then I realized it was LA Sun. Okay. And next to LA Sun we have another beautiful shade in this palette. I just find it so weird that I'm so attracted to these dark greens. Anyway, it's shimmery. It's a shimmery, stunning forest green. It's got some gold shimmers in it. And it's called Aurora. I'm so silly. Yeah, Aurora. And next to Aurora we have a shade called Reputation. And I think it's a dark navy blue, but it might be black. I So then we have chocolate orange. Yeah, stunning. It's definitely like a warm, ready brown, but not as warm or ready as cheesecake. And it's definitely not as pigmented, or yeah, just not as bright, but the shadow itself is really nice. Okay, then we have mulled wine. Oh gosh, I hate this shade. The formula is nice actually, but the shade just ain't it for me. You will literally not catch me dead putting that on my face. I don't know. That is like the shade of pinky purple that I just won't mess with. Anyway, that's called mulled wine. And we have LA Sun. This is pretty, but I don't like these kinds of golds. I don't know, it just looks so costumey to me. But it like the formula is nice. But now we're back. We have Aurora, which is so pretty. It's so pretty. Like, look at that. You put Aurora on, you put lakes on, and then Aurora over top. So pretty. Okay, and now for the moment of truth to find out if Reputation is black or blue. It's black, but I really didn't know until I put it on my skin. It's pretty. It's not like the blackest black ever, but I feel like most people don't want that unless you're doing special effects. So yeah, we got another little fun eyeshadow swatching video in the books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Yada yada yada. And with all that being said, good night.